think I'd try this a new way. I'm gonna show you the tricks that I know. I'm getting tired of talking, and I need more of a show right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. You got me up tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I won't be turning around, no, I won't be turning around. It's the right time, you feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I will win tonight. I think I'll do it on my way. I'm gonna show you what I'm going through, get you out of your comfort zone, 'cause I need more of the truth right now. It's time that you made your mind up, 'cause lately all it ever does is change. Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. You got me up tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I won't be turning around, no, I won't be turning around. It's the right time, you feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I will win tonight. Don't forget it, don't forget it, don't forget it. We'll turn this around. Don't forget it, don't forget it, don't forget it. We'll turn this around.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Hey everybody, welcome to Geeksvana Live and our new show, Drones and Tech. First of all, to say, don't worry, the drone show isn't going anywhere. That'll still be every other Thursday, and this one will then run on the other Thursday. So come back on Thursdays at 10 o'clock in the UK, 5 p.m. over on Eastern, and you will see us streaming. It'll be one or other of the shows with one or other of my different co-hosts, shall we say. They have different attractions. Should we leave it there? Great to see everybody in the chat. Hi Mike Drennan, El Smegheads, Blind Neil, Hot Rods into Toner, hello sir, Darren K, Master Stupid, great name, great to see you sir, and Peter Demestra, hi to see you as well, and Brian Ford, if you're still listening, it's great to see you sir as well. I hope you're extremely well. Coming up on the show tonight, we have found Matt Williams. We found him. We've been searching high and low under all the YouTube cushions, and we have him tonight as a guest, and he's going to be filling us in on some top secret stuff that's going on in his world, which is fantastic. We also, of course, have a new co-host, Stephen Sutton from Flyby Guys, so I'll be introducing you to him and having a chat about what we feel is the future of DJI, and let's see if we agree on that. Now, the show is called Drones and Tech, so there's going to be a little bit more tech into things as well, and tonight we're going to be bringing you and showing you the Alexa, sorry if I just said one thing off there, the Amazon Echo Auto. I'm going to try my best to mute my microphone when I actually say the A word, when I'm showing you a demonstration of this little product later on, so that it doesn't set everybody's off all night. I hope that will work well for everybody. So let's get the guests and the co-host in, shall we? So we can have a chat with them. When I press my button there we go. Hi guys, how are you?
Good evening.
Hello. How's it going?
Down here you have Stephen Sutton, Flyby Guys, who is our new co-host. You can see in the background here I have my little base cap here with flyby guys. Thank you very much for sending it to me. All the way from Finland. With some very interesting sweets, actually, which I feel were sent to me deliberately to catch me out and to make me suffer pain. And for channel members, you're going to see me tasting those sweets in a video that's coming out on the channel membership thing very soon.
You've got an echo, apparently.
Oh yes, thank you. There we go. That will kill the echo. Thank you very much. Sorry, chat. Echo is bad. that was actually a shout to Ken Dono because all of his streams used to have a very bad echo. But thank you for letting me know. Thanks for spotting it in the chat as well, Matt. I've actually got a big piece of paper in front of me to kill main mic when I come into this shot, and I didn't do it. So there we go. Incompetence, isn't it? Really.
At least you didn't mute it this time.
Oh, there's always one. Okay, and by the way, everybody, this might be the shortest show in Geeksvana history because I've just found out that these two guys are ordering PS5s and not Xboxes. So for the gamers in the chat, if you could put Xbox in if you're going to be going for the new Xbox Series X and you are cool, and you could put PS5 in there if you are going for one of those and are, I suppose relatively cool in some way, but there we go.
This chat is going to be interesting, I tell you.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a few boos.
Yeah, no, boo, Xbox all the way. Oh no, someone's just said Rob S, PS5 all the way. Xbox sucks. Sticking with PC. Oh dear. So perhaps I should leave and leave you guys. Yeah, okay, right. I'll just hand the show over to you guys. It's clearly your audience, not mine. So Matt, it's great to see you. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no, and anytime you're a friend of the channel, and it's always great to chat with you and see you. You're one of the key people for me that I have to keep anchored to so that I know what's actually happening out there, and that both on the aviation side of things and drone side of things, and it's your existing channel. I know things are set to change, and the Mr. MPW channel has done an awful lot to educate us about drone regulations and what we can and can't do over its short and extremely successful time so far. So I thank you very much for that.
It's good. Thank you for being part of it. It's great. Eh?
Hey, no, I thoroughly enjoy my time with you. Okay, I'm just going to play a very quick trailer out of the existing Mr. MPW channel for anybody who doesn't know Matt, and then he's going to explain to us when we come back all the wonderful things that are happening. I'm really using my hands tonight, if you notice.
It's because you're talking to Mr. MPW, that's why.
Well, yeah. Do you know my favourite comment ever on my channel, because I'm a bit of a hand mover as well, was one of the ones, my very early ones, where it was literally the camera was cut there and my hands are like this. And the guy said, if you watch it on mute, it's like he's being held up. I'll play the trailer.
Hey everyone, it's Matt Williams, Mr. MPW, and welcome to the channel. I'm a former RAF helicopter instructor and combat-ready pilot, and now run the world's largest drone training school, where we've trained more than 2,000 people over the last few years to fly their drones safely, legally, and to build successful businesses. Join us on our mission to create the world's leading online aviation school and follow the journey as we help thousands more people experience the exciting world of aviation. We'll be travelling the world, hooking up with some of the biggest names in the industry, and we look forward to bringing you along for the ride. So, why not climb aboard and join the crew as we take to the skies? I've been Matt Williams. Fly safe and blue skies.
We just want to say a huge thank you for your participation. We absolutely love to see you get involved. So, the only things left to do now are to sit back, relax. Have you got your munchies? And enjoy the show.
There we go. We had to bring Lib into the show somewhere there. So there's our attempt to give the audience what they really want. Because I've noticed Elsmeged's already using the newer Lib emoji, which channel members, if you type the colon and then start to type the word geek, you'll have the custom emojis that you're able to use in there. So let's have lots of those in the chat tonight. It's always fun to see those. So Matt, that's the Mr. MPW and Matt Williams that I know. Obviously I'm used to the evolution already, that it's moving more towards aviation, but you've got huge plans.
Yeah, that's it. So, like you say, it's funny really because the whole Mr. MPW thing, it was never meant to be about drones, or that was part of it, but we kind of, I guess, ended up running away with being kind of the go-to for the drone industry and for a while. And obviously that ties in nicely with one of the businesses that we've got, and that's great. But the whole point of it was, if I'm honest, to start documenting the journey of me returning back to aviation. It just so happened that things went a lot slower than I thought they would because I was struggling to get a medical. And for those who don't know, briefly, I broke my neck in a flying accident in the Air Force 6 years ago now, and ended up with me being medically discharged and losing really the only thing I'd ever wanted to do and had done. And that was where the drone thing came from, because I'd always flown model helicopters. We put cameras on model helicopters back in the day at the same kind of time as Trent Palmer and those guys were doing it with Copter Kids. And, that was the thing we threw ourselves into and set up what is now the world's biggest drone training school and commercial drone training school. And the Mr. MPW thing was to document that journey. It took about 8 months longer for me to get the information I needed for the CAA for them to sign me off on a medical. And
congratulations.
Yeah, and we got that done right just before lockdown came in the UK. So that was cool. And I'm now back in the air, which is awesome. But the whole point of that channel was to document my journey around the world, as we got loads of big plans to go out to California and stuff this year, and go and fly with the Red Bull helicopter, because one of my close friends,
Yes.
I think you saw him on the channel a few weeks ago, right?
Yes, absolutely.
He's one of the Red Bull aerobatic pilots, which is really cool. So we've got all these connections into that industry as well, which I want to share with people. And I think combined with the negative comments I started getting, because people were asking questions about regulations, and I was saying, look, this is what the new upcoming regulations mean, and a lot of people are anti them. And if I'm honest, that combined with lockdown and being at home with the kids for the first time ever, having worked my nuts off for the last 5 years and not giving them any time, it was like, look, we're going to stop this for now, everyone. And getting grief from people because I had to go from a professional studio, which we'd set up for the channel, to doing the videos in the garage, which is next to a busy road. And people are like, oh, your sound's shit. Oh, your video's shit, mate. What are you filming it with? A potato? And I'm like, well, yeah, compared to the cinema camera that I used to use in the studio that I can't get to because of lockdown.
That's right. Exactly. And I've always found that strange, because as a hobbyist and a creator, I mean, as I've said before, I'm genuinely a fan of your channel, and it is one of the anchors in the industry that keeps me informed, and it's something that I've missed. I get emails now from EASA, and I'm like, well, what does this mean? I'm waiting for your video to come out on it a few hours later, and obviously it hasn't been coming recently, and that puzzles me as to why you would get the different types of negative feedback that you've had over your time doing it, which perhaps I suppose comes with success as well, because the channel has been growing so well, and I suppose it's something to do with the type of content and the fact that you are very honest. You don't just give the audience what they want to hear. If there's a rule that's going to change or something's coming that they need to know about, you've always attempted to inform them and educate. So some people don't take that very well, I suppose.
No, and eventually, and it's funny because and this is one of the things I've had to learn in the YouTube journey, right? And you've you've cancelled me on this on the way through as well. We chat about this quite a bit, but you forget that there are certain people who come along for the whole journey and they've been with you watching every video from the beginning. But then there's a lot of people that just dip in on one video.
Yes.
And they're like, what is this guy doing with his hands? What are his jokes about hands? And I've realized actually you've got to do each one as an individual creative piece now. You can have a thread running through, but they've got to be standalone. But one of the big ones was people thinking I'm the man from the CAA. And I'm like, oh my God, if you went back a year to the beginning of the channel, you'll see actually it was a soapbox for me to speak to the transport secretary at the time and the CAA and say, what are you doing with drone registration? This is outrageous and ridiculous. But because I then said, look, we've got to embrace it. This is how you do the drone registration. People are like, oh, he's the man from the CIA. He's just trying to get 9 quid from us. And like, no, you couldn't be further from the truth, guys.
Which is, yeah, I mean, that as I say, it always confuses me because I always just got the education side of it. But I think there was always, hence your channel grew so well. There was always that not silent majority, because we always used to put our comments saying, hey, this is cool, thank you. But the majority are there, and as you were saying, we do have these transient audiences that will Google Mavic Mini register. And the comments I get on those videos are very, very different to the comments that I'll get on the videos that are more concurrent on other deeper news stories that I'm doing and that type of thing. So it's crazy, really. It's absolutely crazy.
Bizarre. That's it.
But on to new things.
That's it. Yeah. So but kind of this is the exclusive scoop, right, for the Geeksvana channel and the Drones and Tech show. So we've, like I say, we deliberately took a step back from doing the Mr. MPW content because we knew we wanted to take it in a different direction, and we're going to do that. And taking the advice from people like yourself and Ian in London, we are setting up, or we have now set up, another channel where I kind of will then step into that role of being the drone mentor, where I'll help people and guide them through, and we can do that regulation piece. But it's not Mr. MPW giving that advice; it's the drone mentor giving that advice.
Yes.
Take it or leave it. It'll be standalone stuff. No waffle, no piffle, no messing around, because I know that annoyed some people. You can go there and get the.
I like your waffle.
Advice that you want. I know, but you can get that on Mr. MPW, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're not, and that's the thing as well, is that we're not going to be missing out on any aspect of you. And in actual fact, people who want to dive even deeper with the drone side of things are going to be able to get a behind the scenes and deeper look at things as well, aren't they? For both the professional and the hobbyist, which I think is very exciting.
That's it. And we're going to also, I think it opens up the scope, because I was very I don't want to go down the lines of unboxings and reviews and tutorials and stuff like that, because that isn't what this channel is about.
Thanks.
Or not what I want it to be about. There we go. There we go. But the Drone Mentor channel will be, right? We will be doing all of those things because it's going to be purely about drones.
Yes, exactly.
And that's quite exciting.
It is. Oh, it's very exciting because it's going to give your unique twist on those things, and I do think separating those two parts of you is going to free you as a curator as well. So I'm really excited to see what comes of it and what happens, because it's going to be very, very exciting. And that's me from the hobbyist side of things. And I know there's so many people, that PFCO holders, etc., that you and your company UAV Hub have helped throughout the years. So I'm sure the Drone Mentor is going to be a huge success. When are you hoping to start launching content and start getting things working?
That's it. So this is the new studio setup. This is what it's going to look like. So we've got that done now and at home, and hopefully the sound's everyone's happy with the sound and the lighting and stuff. So if you're not, let me know.
Yeah,
put a super chat in and let us know.
Yeah.
And I'll see it. But yeah, so hopefully on Monday, so Monday next week, we will come in with the first kind of revisiting the what the new drone regulations are going to be.
Yes.
And yeah,
because I did get one of those emails from the CAA regarding EASA. Should we not get a final Brexit deal? And they're basically, I think they were saying along the lines of pretty much they're going to carry on as is. Would you still expect the EASA drone regulations to be adopted on the basis of that kind of information?
Yeah, definitely. So that is one of the big things that the CAA have said from kind of pretty much the beginning. They have confirmed again and again that they were ready to do it on the 1st of July this year. We were going to be the first country to adopt the new regulations. Irrespective of Brexit, we were going to go over to them, which again, I know has caused a lot of frustration within the community.
It has.
Oh, it's not broke at the moment, so don't fix it. Well,
no, indeed.
I get that. But yeah, they've said we're going to switch anyway. And they're doing it to align us with EASA.
Yes.
And that's the whole point, right? Because it'll make it way easier for us to go over and fly in Helsinki and Finland, and because the qualifications will be the same. We'll need to apply.
If they allow that, and it's a simple process, I will be so happy, because that was one of the first things that drew me towards the A2 CFC, was being able to jump in the car, go across the channel, and then fly in France, fly in Germany under the same regulations eventually. That's very exciting. So yeah, I mean,
if you think, if you think of how things are in the UK in terms of regulations and where you can and where you cannot fly, if you compare that to how we are in Finland, for example, it's night and day.
Yeah,
it's night and day,
and also the approach to it as well, as in the Finnish approach to saying actually we want drones is so much more open, isn't it? Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say the CAA are against it, because I think also the current position that we're in, going from UK regs to EASA regs, and then Brexit in the middle, and then the current pandemic in the middle. I have full respect for what they're attempting to do over there, because it's so much work. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see that countries like Finland are perhaps more supportive, like you say.
Well, I think that they're more supportive for the industry, which I think is very, very important. Is I can jump on the phone and I can talk with any of the regulators here in Finland. I have all their phone numbers. So if I need permission to fly somewhere, I still go through the formal way of doing it. But it's very easy for me to just jump on the phone and say, look, I need to have this. Is it okay? And they will make sure it gets done. It's still done the way that it should be, but it's a little bit, they are very, very liberal here.
Yeah,
it's incredible, and that's why I don't. It would be so difficult for me to, let's say, open up the business in the UK, because it would be what we're used to and how we're used to working.
Yes,
it would drive me up the wall in the UK.
See, that's why I'm looking. I mean, we get so many people that say we don't want EASA because of Brexit. There's reasons why people don't want it, but actually, especially from a commercial point of view, I'm excited about the EASA regulation, because it's going to give us that's, in my opinion, that springboard for us to leap forward, where we can start making those kind of longer term decisions, and the PFCOs as they transgress across the different qualifications can as well. Just very quickly, Philip Koshat, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. This is for the blue side of the room. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And Johnny Mac 26, a £5. Thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate everyone's support, and I want to say again, thank you for coming across to the blue side of Geeksvana, the Drones and Tech show. It's fantastic to see the support. This will be a little bit different to the drone show, but hopefully you'll appreciate the two different sides of the channel as well. So, not that I'm saying you're any less attractive, Stephen. Not that I'm saying that at all. I'm just saying, there's two different sides which I'm really looking for.
It's a different appeal.
It's exactly, yes. So and then on the Mr. MPW side of things, are you going to be doing things like your flight sims on there and that type of thing? Because I know you've got Twitch on the side as well, haven't you? Sort of, which I've really enjoyed the Twitch streams.
Yeah, that's it. So I think that is going to be aviation, and unfortunately in the UK we can't. There's a lot of time we can't go flying as a private pilot because of money and weather. So we'll have a lot of that on there. The flight simulator stuff generally will be over on the Twitch side of things. Excellent. And again, I think that's quite cool, because we've watched a lot of Twitch stuff, and I think you might have mentioned it as well. It's one of those where the streamers are great, but they don't always understand, and they're not able to kind of patter and coach through what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. So shall we watch Matt's Twitch, which of course is extremely new, so it doesn't have that many viewers yet, and we get to see a pilot pressing all the right buttons and things. I learned, because I love playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, especially the new one. I've got an ultra wide 4K monitor, and I love it. It's a really nice escape. But I like watching your Twitch streams, because I learn a bit more as well. And each time I take one thing away and I put that into my little amateur flying, and it's good fun to do that, because you feel more like a pilot. But yeah, then there's those Twitch streams and YouTube streams that have like 60,000 people watching. Some guy dressed as a pilot, and it's a 737 at 40,000 feet, just looking out the side at the engine turning. Yeah, and you think, okay, but hey, horses for courses. There are huge channels out there watching people cut soap. So
Yeah.
I suppose, you know,
Maybe I just need to cut soap instead.
cut soap whilst flying.
That's it.
And a 737.
Now there's a niche. There's a niche.
Crikey. That's a
Yeah.
niche and a niche and a niche, isn't it? Yeah, and then you know, we're going to be doing essentially like the same as you saw on the Twitch stream, but I'm going to be doing that in real aeroplanes. So I'm taking my wife up on Monday for the first time ever for her in a light aeroplane.
Fantastic.
This is preempting coming down and collecting yourself, Sean. Obviously,
Sorry.
I've seen the
Hello?
banter already.
Oh, I'm really sorry. We
That
seem to
weird
have
delay
lost.
thing again.
We've seemed to have lost Mr. MPW Matt Williams. We'll try and get him back. I can't guarantee we will get him back, especially if he keeps talking about me going in an airplane.
Oh dear. But yeah. That's
You know,
No,
some things you say on stream and then it's forever on YouTube and you can't take it back. But hey, I will do it. But you have to bear in mind, I have a genuine fear. Although I'm told that if I go up in a light aircraft and I see how everything works, I will get over it in minutes because I'm a control freak type of person. So once I understand it more, I'll be over it. But it's going to be a very, very funny video.
It will be a very
that
funny
video will go viral of me sobbing, hanging onto my girlfriend's leg. No, come on,
I
get
ain't
in the
getting
plane.
in no plane, fool.
Get in the plane. Yeah, basically. where I fully transform into B.A. Baracus. Yes,
That's it.
it's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
So
now
we're going to
you're
be doing that, which is cool.
amazing, and I can't wait to see. I will be consuming all parts of your content because as an aviation fan and obviously a drone enthusiast, I'm going to be consuming all of it. So I can't wait for it. Now you're back in the air.
Yeah.
What is? Give me top 3 of your bucket list of aircraft that you want to fly before your flying career finishes in many decades' time.
Oh crikey!
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, a little bit, because the thing is, I've already flown. Like, I'm lucky that lucky. I worked my balls off and managed to fly through my kind of military career the aeroplanes I always wanted to fly. You know, so it's like, well, I'd want Tornado in there, and you're like, well, yeah, take it. You know, so, but I think for me, I would. The number one is going to be a Spitfire. And the whole reason behind me doing my starting a business was to one day own a Spitfire.
Fantastic.
That's kind of end game, right? So back down from that, it's a Tucano, which is the old RAF fast jet trainer. They've kind of phased those out now.
Nice.
I've flown a Tucano and they're incredible. Like, I loved flying the Tucano, but there's a company in America that takes the old Tucanos from the Air Force. They put a glass cockpit in and a fully kind of digital controlled engine, a FADEC engine. And they're like, they are incredible. They're $1 million.
Nice. Wow.
So they're expensive.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That whole transition of taking Air Force stuff and remodeling, I really like that. I mean, whenever I think of that, I always think back to the P-51s that had the wings shaved and they just became those brutal racers. I mean, extremely brutal. But yeah, no, that's very exciting. Brian Forward saying Spitfire and A10 for him.
A10. I am lucky enough that I have been in an A10 out in Davis Monthan Air Force Base. So,
well, there's one person watching. If Brody Hugar is still in the chat, who's a personal friend of mine, he loves the A10, and he will be extremely jealous to hear that. I mean, that is a fantastic aircraft.
Incredible aeroplane. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
If anybody ever wants to see a pure engineering feat. With a pure mission, you should always go and look and YouTube and look at the history and how the aircraft came about, because that really does show that if you give the right engineers a simple and core mission, they will deliver. I mean, that thing is just built around that gun. It's just absolutely incredible, and it's so distinctive. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah,
so Spitfire Tucano, and then the L-39 Albatross. The Albatross is an airplane that I would love to fly one day.
You're so sophisticated.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Such a,
So there we go.
you see, that's such a sophisticated list to say. But the Spitfire, I completely agree with you on that one. That's obviously incredibly iconic. And because there was a documentary, wasn't there? Was it Ewan McGregor's brother that flew one for a BBC documentary? And he was just like, that was everything I hoped it would be. And absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Good. So
I have a question for you, Matt. What's your opinion about the manned aviation and unmanned aviation working together?
Well, to be honest, I don't think we've got a choice, right? It's all aviation, and the future is unmanned aviation. There's no escaping it. There's no denying it. And this is one of the things I've always used to say on the public speaking circuit when people ask similar questions, because I would normally go and speak to like military people and say, this is what I do. This is the message you need to get out there to keep yourself safe in terms of low flying. And it was like, the future, these things aren't in the future, they're now. That stuff is here. Airbus have got a version of the EC135, 145, which is capable of doing fully unmanned operations. Lockheed Martin have got a version of the F-16 which they fly with an orange cockpit that's unmanned. It's like this stuff is coming, and especially in the military sense of things, because the pilot is the limiting factor now in modern day aircraft.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think how we're looking at it over here, for example, because of the crisis that is going on at the moment, and you have so many pilots that are out of work, we are starting to, look at the drone industry, to actually bring in pilots. So there's things going on which I can talk about later on, where we would start to bring in pilots because they're much more qualified. And they need to work, So it seems that the unmanned aviation has took a bit of a twist in the past 6 months, and I think we'll see it more. It will more rise in the next few years. But this thing, which not many people out there, I think that the drone community I would assume are not too, let's say, aware of that, because all they know is they can't fly near an airport, or they can't fly anywhere in the UK. But having this manned and unmanned aviation, having having projects together, I think is of vital importance for the future.
Yeah, definitely. And aviation's a funny industry. It's a funny place to be because it's very much us and them. It doesn't matter which side of the aviation coin you're on. So in the military, I was primarily a rotary pilot, and it was like, rotary pilots don't speak to jet pilots and vice versa. We keep ourselves to ourselves, like rotary, and and like glider pilots don't talk to general aviation pilots, because heaven forbid we should ever fly a glider. Bearing in mind, most of us did that before we started.
Exactly.
This is the ironic thing. And it's even worse in the unmanned space, right? Because pilots know that those people are coming after our jobs, and those jobs are getting scarce anyway. And there'll be as much resistance as possible, but it's coming. And, this isn't going to put your nerves at any rest, I'm sure, Sean, but like when you go on an airliner nowadays, like, this has been since the 70s, right? The Children of Magenta is a very well-known talk. If people haven't heard of that or seen it, go and check it out on YouTube. Children of Magenta. It's a really interesting watch, and it's just about flying a system now. Like, you don't fly the aeroplane; they fly themselves. Indeed. You're there to manage it and make people feel good because there's someone at the front end. That's really what it's for.
Exactly. And of course,
it can do a better job than I can.
The skill and experience there, I suppose, as well, of course. But
humans are the ones that make the most mistakes.
Absolutely.
The future is.
I'll have no more of this Skynet talk on here, okay? All right. I know Skynet are clearly sponsoring both of you, but the man in the middle there is still very important to me.
The evidence is there.
I like
the research shows that more mistakes are actually done by humans.
Although, has there been enough data on AI versus human to make that judgment? Because of course, the only in manned aviation, AI and human is mixed. And also, I think you'll also find that the AI errors that have happened in manned aviation have resulted in far greater losses, unfortunately, than necessarily the manned errors. Does that make sense? So when the AI goes wrong, it really goes wrong. Like the Air France, like the one that tried to auto land over in the States and just hit the side of the hangar, etc. And so I'm all up for there being someone at the front of the aircraft. One of the ones actually I like, the mix, and you were saying about the military coming forward with it, was the Boeing Loyal Wingman, where they're going to have one jet manned and he's going to control 4 or 5 drone aircraft around him to go into sorties and obviously go and endanger themselves without endangering the pilot. But I love that because you've still got that experienced veteran in that cockpit who's going to know, and it's just going to smell what's going on in that theatre as well. So I think that's quite exciting.
That's it. I think personally, we're kind of joking about it in a way, but I don't think you'll ever get away from having a couple of people at the front of an airliner, because people won't get down the back if there's not someone in the front. Me. That's it. Even though they're just managing the system, and like things like the Loyal Wingman, there is no. It's very difficult to kind of it's very easy to undervalue from the outside that hair on the back of your neck feeling that this is how this fight is going to go.
That's right.
With this enemy. And like you say, having a person do that rather than just going through a loop and a set of logic to get to a conclusion, right? This is the subroutine to execute. A person doing that is the thing that will make the difference between winning or losing, because the logic in our system would be the same as someone else's. And
and analysing a commander and an ops base analysing data versus getting a call from the pilot in charge telling him what's actually happening and how he's feeling about it. He'll get a lot more from that conversation than necessarily the data. So it's I think there's always going to be someone there. Just very quickly, hi to the people in the chat. I did ask the chat what their favourite aircraft was and their favourite drone. Thank you for your answers. There's some really interesting ones. It shows we do have a mixed crowd, because Master Stupid said the Micro Drone 4. And Mike Drennan, who I know is one of the unfortunate backers, also said MD4 has been the best drone ever since 2016. Absolutely. He's obviously believing the hype and trusting the process there. Anyone doesn't know that, go back on Geeksvana and search for Micro Drone, and you'll see some interesting stuff there of a calamitous crowdfunded drone, which still is nowhere to be seen, still has no great testing. We've actually got a video. I'm almost ready with my next video on it. It's a big video. It's a long video on the micro drone, and it actually includes me going to Extreme Fly's office, which was up in Wimbledon, which is going to be a really fun video to watch. Nice. I can guarantee that much. Yes, indeed. But hi to everyone. Hi Max Air 420. I'm actually playing another one of your videos tonight, sir. Max Air 420 was actually one of the pilots in our FPV Wednesday episode this week, and he is far too skillful for the amount of subscribers and views that he gets. I'm determined to get him to a much wider audience. So there we go. So Matt, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate it. Thank you for letting us know all the exciting stuff that's coming up on your new channels, which is I'm as a consumer of your product, I'm very excited to hear about all of that. Thank you for I'm trying to put it politely, breaking your Virgin Studio to us as well.
There we go. Sneak
very
peek.
Exciting, very exciting.
Yeah, that's it. Do you like the colours?
I do like the colours. It's great that we have the little buttons and we can change our colours as well. So which I like doing for different videos. There you go. Whoa, I like that. He
also has the blue side.
He does have the blue side, and he actually on my OBS and on the YouTube stream, the blue is actually perfect. Oh, now you've ruined it. It's actually perfectly blending in to the blue background. It's almost as if we planned it. That's nice. I have red and I have exactly those colours myself. So there you go.
Oh, I've done it the wrong way around now. Oh well.
OCD.
That's it. But no, thank you ever so much. Thank you, everybody, and look forward to seeing you over on the new channel, hopefully.
Yeah, I will certainly be there whenever I'm invited. So no, it's good. So everyone, we can call off the search. We can call the YouTube search and rescue and tell them we found Matt Williams and he's coming back very, very soon. And bigger and better in actual fact. So thank you again, sir, and we will see you very, very soon.
Thank you. Have a good one. Good luck with the new show, guys.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
There we go. Wasn't that good fun?
That was fun.
Yes, it was good to see.
He's an interesting guy, actually.
He is, and I have to say, as I said before, I am a big fan of his channel. I'm just going to make you a little bit bigger there because I've managed to cut half of you off. There we go. Look, we can see your little drone and your landing pad in the background now.
Yeah, you can see the Phantom now, can't you?
Yes.
I've been flying the Phantom a lot this week. I missed the Phantom, actually. Yeah. Since I've done the stadium video, I really have enjoyed it. It's just old faithful.
Speaking of which, I actually do have that to play to people. I'm going to give everyone a little bit of break from listening to us talk for a moment, and I'm going to play you a video, which is a snippet of a video from the Flyby Guys channel, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about Stephen, who he is, and what he does. And talk DJI, etc. as well. And I'm going to stop moving my damn hands around. I need to tie them down somewhere.
We can now talk about Xbox and PS5s, okay?
Don't push it. Let's watch it. Let's watch you flying very skillfully and some nice editing, shall we?
Enjoy.
And we'll leave PS5 out of it. And there we go. So yeah, that's a fantastic flight there, Stephen. It's I've watched that video a couple of times myself, actually, the main one on your channel, and there's a longer version on Stephen's channel. There's a link in the description for everybody to find there. And there's a longer version where actually Stephen explains how he flew in perhaps what some of us would see as restricted airspace. It's a really fascinating video, actually, and that's with your own channel, which again there's a link in the description to Stephen's channel, Flyby Guys. It's the education side of things which you're focusing on quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think that we are living now in this moment where we're having more and more drone hobbyists being more and more active. Drones are more accessible now.
Yes.
You can just walk into a shop and buy small drones. Let's say larger drones. And some people just, they don't really know what they should be doing. I follow a lot of the Facebook groups, and because I think it's very interesting to watch the community, listen to the community, and also try to help the community, because some of the questions, which some are, it's quite unbelievable. Some of the type of questions that people are asking. not that that's a bad thing. I think it is, I think it's
Yeah.
something that they do need help with.
It is. I do feel sorry for some of them as well, because sometimes Facebook isn't the place to ask those questions because of the responses that they will sometimes get.
Exactly.
People just want to be right, and they want to be, no, you're stupid for thinking that, etc. Whereas, and hence why I think a channel like yours is going to do very well, because there are a lot of people looking and searching for answers. And it already has a very good mix on there, and it's growing very quickly as well. Your recent video on the smart controller has done very well.
Yeah, it has. I was really, really surprised actually, but you were the one who actually pushed me to do that. I wasn't going to do that video, but you you sent me the message and you said you should do a video.
That sounds like a video. Yes.
And that's why you have a link in there as well, because I had to mention you for that. But it was more that, I was having genuine problems with my smart controller, and I've never had any problems updating any of my DJI products. And when I was updating, which was my normal process when I was about to go out and fly, and then I was having problems, and I was thinking, what is going on here? Because I was having storage issues, and then I was having errors and all the rest of it. So, and then of course I found your video, and then so forth and so forth. So I thought I would, I did document as much as I could when I was updating. And then I shared my experience as well, which was a little bit different from your experience. So I didn't want to do that because I don't want to do the same.
Yeah, I kept my video very short because I wanted to give the information from the notes, because I don't have the smart controller, so I don't like sitting there saying something. Oh, this is this because of X, Y, Z. I really wanted to get across that notes were suggesting use the Assistant 2 app. Don't necessarily do it over Wi-Fi if you have a 0.75 or older firmware. And I thought that was a short, important message to get across to people, because, again, it was an issue that people had again and again and again. So there were so many people coming back to us about that, and others that had even more issues as well, which is
they are, and that's why it's good to obviously communicate with the comments as much as possible, because people were commenting. I had one person commented on that video saying that he had to do a factory reset.
I've spoken to 4 or 5 people that have factory reset their device, actually, which is crazy, isn't it? Dave Ennis, welcome to the Drone Club. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate you becoming a channel member. If you go to the community tab, you will get notifications whenever we put member exclusive stuff up there. But if you go to the community tab, you will find things like the back catalogue of all sorts of videos from myself and Lib and different things, which is really really good fun. Hopefully you enjoy that content. Also, if you type colon and start to type the word geek, you will also see the new special emojis that you can now use in the live chat and in the comments section of our videos, which is good fun. Flyby Guys isn't just a YouTube channel, of course. It is a business. You are a professional drone pilot, which is one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on as co-host on this show, because I'm a hobbyist and I'm coming at it from that angle. And of course, you're going to be bringing so much to the show in the coming weeks. And we're going to learn so much more about Flyby Guys as a business as well. And some of the things we've got planned, guys, is so exciting over the next few weeks. And we're really going to be getting deep and dirty with the business of drones and also the hobby of drones. And I think it's going to be a very good and fun marriage in the future.
I think so. And in this time, where we are, where this is acceptable, I think it's really good. So bring your soap, because it will get dirty.
Oh. And we don't always agree on things as well, actually, which is another reason I invited you to come on the show on an ongoing basis as a co-host, is because I've watched some of your videos and I've thought, no, he's wrong. I don't agree with that. And what I love about you is you don't mind me saying that, and you'll say, actually, have you thought about this? And I might learn something, you might learn something, and that as myself and Stephen learn, we hope the audience will come along and learn more and more about drones and the drone industry and the future of drones that's coming up. Now, one thing I did want to touch on this evening is DJI and where we think the future of drones for DJI is going, because of course they're going through a little bit of turmoil at the moment. I think I'm okay to describe it as turmoil, because of course they are being bashed, they are being held up as the example of the evil Chinese drone, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they recover, isn't it? Because they've now lost ground to a lot of the other American-made commercial drones, which are now starting to spring up, such as the Skydio X2 and the Parrot and Affy USA. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
It is. I have no worries. I don't really worry that DJI are going to be harmed too much. I think that the Skydio are going to be a major. I think that they will be a player.
Yes.
I've now been saying this for the past 2-3 months. I think the X2, when it comes out in the is it the third or fourth quarter?
I think third quarter from onwards. Yes.
Yeah. That will be a game changer. If it does what it says it's going to do, it will be a game changer.
The first reviews are going to be so important on that particular
Absolutely.
drone, aren't they? Because the things like the 360 vision and everything else like that, it could be an absolute. A real game changer, genuine. We always say, "Oh, it's a game changer," but it really could be with this drone.
Yeah.
It really could be,
and it looks cool.
It does, doesn't it? When you sort of flipping it out, and the whole thing that they have, that despite it being a commercial drone, which obviously commercial operators will know, sometimes that means an awful lot of preparation of getting the thing out of the car and adding props and doing X, Y, Z. The fact that on a commercial job and you can get the thing in the air within 60 seconds is going to appeal to a lot of people as well, of course.
It really does, and I think that we have we have the Enterprise Dual, which we don't use very often. I was actually flying one last week for the video that's coming out on Saturday, but it is just a Mavic, which has got a thermal on it, and it's very limited in a sense, but it just looks like a Mavic. But I think that this Skydio X2, I think this will be. But I mean, in terms of DJI and where they're going, we just don't know. I mean, there's all the talk about the Mavic 3 and what will it have and how will it be. I think that DJI really have to I think they will be concentrating more on the drones. I think they'll move away from the cameras. I think they'll move away from the Osmo, pocket in action, because I think that they have, because I mean the GoPro 9 has really gone beyond expectations in a sense. So I think that they will just concentrate on the drones. We don't. What will the Mavic 3 have?
Well, I'm actually one of the people that wonder if there is even going to be a Mavic 3. I half feel like the Mavic Air 2 was the goodbye to the Mavic series, and that something new is coming from DJI because of the changing regulations on both sides of the pond. I think they might have to do like they did with the Phantom and move on to a new form factor and move on to a new name. Although there's been so much hype with the Mavic 3 that I know that they could literally, they could take this Amazon Echo and put Mavic 3 on the side and sell 1 million units. It's crazy the amount of hype there is out there for it. It's incredible. I don't worry for DJI because they've got a fantastic consumer drone marketplace, but I do wonder how not having free and easy access to that side of the commercial market in the States, which is a very big market and in the future will be a huge marketplace, I wonder how that will impact them moving forward. And I could see them doing something. You've got TikTok. Obviously, have just announced with Oracle that they're going to open TikTok USA, and now the United States government are happy with how they're going to be handling data. The TikTok phenomena can potentially carry on. And I wonder, I don't think that will happen with DJI. I don't see a DJI USA in partnership with opening up or anything, but I think they'll do something to get themselves back into that side of things. At the moment, they seem to be almost PRing themselves out of it a little bit, trying to explain that that they're not the big bad wolf. But the problem is when the Chinese government have the rules and regulations they have, then they're always going to be the big bad wolf.
Well, I think that people are worrying about certain things when there's other things that are just as important that they don't worry about. So if they're worrying about privacy, if they're worrying about other things, Facebook and Google and all the rest of it, there are privacy issues which people don't really care about. But then, to actually focus on DJI,
Yeah,
I don't really see that, I mean, for the amount of sales compared to the amount of, users using Facebook and all the rest of it, it doesn't quite add up, and it's not really a problem. To think about, if I think about what we do within a daily amount within our operations, I have nothing to hide.
Yeah. Although it is different, of course, when you're using these things as a federal agency or law enforcement and that type of thing, and the data is potentially being accessed in other places and that type of thing. So I can understand the fears there. I do again have a video coming up on this, which is one of my longer videos, which is a bit more of a deeper dive into the Chinese drone syndrome that's sort of affecting us at the moment, and I'll go more in depth into that. But it's good to hear your initial thoughts on that. Okay, moving on. We're going to be moving on to the tech part of our show in a few minutes. But would you like to just cleanse the palate, as it were, with some awesome FPV flying?
Go for it.
Well, this is, as I say, we've just started a new thing on the channel called FPV Wednesday. We're 2 episodes in, and it's mixing professional and I would say hobbyist FPV, but some of these hobbyist FPV flyers are incredible. And we're 2 episodes in, and it's a lot of fun. I'm getting to meet digitally an awful lot of FPV flyers at the moment, and have really good conversations with them and find out what they're flying, how they're flying, and it's educating me as a camera drone flyer an awful lot. But one person that I just want to highlight quickly, who was in episode 2, is a guy that I see in the chat on Thursday Night Live and different places, Max Air 420, and just play out another one of his videos, because this guy really does need a lot more followers and a lot more views, because he really does have some great skills. His link to the channel will be in the description below. If it's not there now, it will be after the show. But let's have a look at one of his videos. He should have more than that, shouldn't he? He should have a few thousand subscribers at least. So Max Air 420, as I say, I'll put a link in the description below. We all know him because he's in a lot of the live chats supporting so many of the channels, and there's a lot of names like Bob Casey, hi, Agent K, Jay Santiago, great to see you, a lot of our channel members in there, etc. as well. Coast to Coast Drones, Bill, hi, hello, and we see these names in a lot of the live shows, and because I'm so busy obviously creating videos and watching live shows myself, I don't always get across to people's channels. But Max Air 420, you're doing it right, sir, and your content slipped beautifully into episode 2 of FPV Wednesday, alongside some internationally renowned FPV pilots who are paid an awful lot of money for what they do, and you know, there was no, oh, now we're watching an amateur, if that makes sense. You know, there was no blend there. There was no line. It was absolutely seamless, and I congratulate him for that. It was absolutely fantastic.
Just have to say that I was watching FPV Wednesday yesterday, and Sean actually interrupted me with a message as I was watching FPV Wednesday.
There you go. One of the notification crew. Which actually, I think Lib has something to say about that.
Did you know the most interesting people in the world subscribe to this channel? Coincidence, obviously.
For anybody who doesn't know, that's my other co-host, Lib, and that's the drone show, which is on the other Thursday to this show, which we're now running, which is exciting to have a couple of different shows. So also one final thing to say to you about the co-hosting is welcome to the team, basically. Welcome to the...
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a
streaming
pleasure.
team.
It's
We're
an honour.
Well,
Really is.
we'll see how you feel after week 2. Mike Drennan, thank you so much for the super sticker, a banana peel. Oh, yes, indeed. We need to watch out for those banana peels. There are some weird stickers. Have you looked at the stickers and actually gone through them? Because there is some really, really weird stuff in there. I've on some of the shows that I watch that I give super chats and super stickers to, I've been having a play with them, and you can really put some quite obscure things. It's quite funny watching the host react to, that's a super sticker of a what now? And not knowing that was even available on their channel, because of course they're updating them all the time as well. Okay, it's called Drones and Tech. We've done some drones. We've done some manned aviation tonight as well, actually, with our awesome guest Matt Williams from Mr. MPW. Should we do some tech?
You should.
We should do a little bit of tech. Okay. Popped. This is the tech camera, which is how it will now be called. I haven't actually named this camera yet. Now, this is a little product which I wanted to talk to everybody this evening about, which is the Amazon Echo Auto. And the idea of this is it actually sits in your car and becomes the A, as I'll call it, the Alexa, for your car. And here's a little video to show actually what, or certainly to show how Amazon would like you to see this. And then obviously I will let you know what I think of it afterwards.
A month after the lights went out.
Alexa, pause my podcast. Alexa, set the temperature at home to 71 degrees. And turn on the lights.
Alexa, call Mike. Thanks, hun. Have fun at work.
Oh, wasn't that sweet and wholesome? Oh. So, it's a device that's meant to bring the benefits of the Alexa into your car, so that you can obviously do all sorts of things. If you have a connected home, if you have a smart home, it's something which can help you. Obviously, you can even put the oven on and unlock doors and check your cameras and all sorts of things. I've been playing with this for a little while and for a few weeks now, and I just wanted to show people a few things of what I think of it. I'm on the fence, honestly on the fence about it. I'm a big fan of smart home devices, but I'm still on the fence with this one, and I'll explain why. Now, in my car previously, I had one of these, which I'm sure you recognise, Stephen, as the first generation Echo Dot.
I have one here at home.
Excellent. And I do like these. Obviously, a terrible speaker, but if you want to listen to actual music on them, but as a small, handy little smart device, it does the job. One of the things I liked about it is it had these ports on the back here, so that you could plug it. Basically, it could become a speaker with a 3.5mm jack there. It could be integrated into any system, which was fantastic. So I actually used to have this sat on the center. Just ahead of my armrest, but behind my gear lever of my car. So I used to have in my car already for playing music, calling home, that type of thing. So it was very handy. When they brought out the new generation, which has a much better speaker actually on a standalone, if anyone's looking for these type of devices, they moved to proprietary cabling. So it was more difficult to use it on the power supply side of things in the car. I bumbled along with the previous generation for a while, and then I saw the adverts, saw the hype for the Echo Auto, and it's been a decent device. I'll plug it in so we can have a little play with it as well and show how it actually physically works. It's been a lot of fun. As I say, I like smart home stuff. I have all my lights working on it and that type of thing, and all of my TVs and all of my audio visual stuff, and it's pretty cool. Now, my issues with it is that it doesn't seem to stick, if that makes sense. It should improve with updates, of course. But there are little foibles. For instance, when it first boots up and when it actually attaches, it will quite often stay on this, which is where it's flashing backwards and forwards like Knight Rider,
I was just going to say it looks like Kit from Knight Rider, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah, it's a bit of a boomer thing there, wasn't it? Really, sort of a reference there for Knight Rider. But then actually, what it wants you to do is it wants you to go into the app, and then once you're in the app, you'll get a little message saying, you know, are you a passenger, basically, so that it knows you're not going into the app and risking yourself. But then, as you heard, then it bleeped into life. That frustrates me because, of course, what I want to be able to do is which I used to be able to do with this one, is just jump in the car and start. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
And just get on with it. I don't want to be pressing buttons and that type of thing. And I found there's a few things that have happened recently and over the last few weeks that have caused that issue. But it is handy. You're able to say things like, and I'm going to mute it for when I do say the A word. What's the traffic like on my commute?
Right now, traffic to work looks pretty clear. The fastest route takes about 21 minutes via B3015 and A322.
Of course, you'd expect the traffic to be pretty good at after 11 o'clock in the evening. But you know, and it does a lot of functions, like you can. Where is the nearest petrol station?
I found a few nearby filling stations. There's Frimley Green filling
Alexa,
station.
take me to the first one.
Getting directions to Frimley Green.
And then what it will do is obviously have your phone obviously in its car holder as well. And then it will actually bring up and it will take you across to Google Maps to give you the drive to how to get there. Now, I'm not going to show that going across there because I'm not going to dox myself live on YouTube and show my exact location. But it is fantastic, and I can play all of my playlists and that type of thing. But as I say, and the microphones work very well. So even at high traffic, at speed, etc., with the background noise, it does work pretty effectively. But there are a lot of glitches, like that one where a lot of the time it won't cycle straight in. And yes, I can wait for updates, but when this old thing worked perfectly well, there's not enough of the smart. Does that make sense? There's not enough of the smart of the smart evolution there for me to be completely in love with it. And I've been sort of, you know, backwards and forwards. Do I send it back? Do I not, etc. That type of thing. Mike Drennan was asking in the chat if I run a hotspot for the Dot. Yes, I did. Basically, with the Generation 1, obviously I would just plug the micro USB into a USB port into the center of my car, and then the 3.5mm jack would go into the aux port of my car, and then I would run an internet hotspot off of my Huawei P20. My phone allows that. I have unlimited data on my package, so it doesn't. That's the only thing I would warn is if you're going to do that, just make sure you have unlimited data, because it will suck your data out pretty quickly. But it's quite handy because I'm able to, you know, give it smart directions for the home and that type of thing. When my other half is doing something quietly and relaxing, I'm able to tell it to play Everything Is Awesome at volume 10 and really brighten up her day.
Just looking at the price, is it? I mean, I just looked at the price there. Is it worth the price?
At £50, $50, it isn't bad. I have to say, it isn't what I thought it would be. It isn't as good as I thought it would be. But then if I look back to these original Dots and what things like my Echo Show can do and that type of thing, there's obviously going to be an evolution there. Although, of course, because it isn't screened, there's a limit to what that evolution is going to be able to do. It's always going to be relying on the phone screen as well. And I don't like, because my car already has a center console for all of its systems, I don't like having to have the phone in front of anything. So I don't use it for things like the directions. So I don't get as much use from it as perhaps I was hoping. What I do like, however, I don't know if you've seen them in like the new Audis where it's fully integrated Amazon Alexa into those ones, which actually bring up the full visuals as well. So if you ask it for something, etc., it will bring it up like any Alexa device with a screen will do, which is fantastic.
I think that if someone said that you could get one of those small devices and the light was in red, and you could stick it in the front of the car and it would go back and forth, and it was 50 quid, people would go, sign me up.
Perhaps you should call their marketing department. You might have an idea there.
Because I would happily put one of those in the front of my car if it was red and have it go back and forth for 50 quid, because my car's black. So it would look
I think
awesome.
you could probably buy the light for cheaper than that, actually. Yeah. You can see there's 2 ports in here. So it has 2 options. It can connect via Bluetooth to your phone and your car, and then play between the two, as it were. And it will be essentially another Bluetooth input on the audio of your car. Or you can use the aux cable if you have a slightly older car, and then this can go into the 3.5 aux jack. So they have thought of different ways of different levels of cars, different markets of cars being able to integrate it, which is quite good. I have mine next to my seat because I don't like the thought of having to put it sort of up on the dashboard. Personally, so I don't actually get to see the little blue flashing light. My girlfriend sees that from the passenger seat, but that's it. Yes, as Max Air 420, Banggood sells an LED strip that does that. That's it. That's where I saw it. So you can actually get the red flashing. You're already ordering it, aren't you? You're already on Banggood ordering Night Rider lights.
I just wonder if John Copy's got a discount code for me.
Yes. So it's pretty cool from that point of view. And one other thing that annoys me about it, in one of my cars I do connect it via the aux, not via Bluetooth, and all of my alerts from my phone sound through my stereo. So I can be listening to Prodigy at extremely high levels, and I'll get a WhatsApp through from that annoying guy Stephen Sutton, and I have a very loud message alert so that I don't miss important messages, and that will come across the speakers. So it's not very immersive, and it's also a little bit annoying, frankly, a little bit frustrating, which is not good. So. But there we go. That's our first little tech bit on the channel. In the future, we're going to be bringing you other bits of information about tech to mix the drones and tech up a little bit. So I hope you all enjoyed that. It wasn't really either way for me on this particular device. I'll update everybody in about a month or 6 weeks' time when there's been updates, and see if it does leap forwards, because certainly the dots have all moved forward since they first came out. Yeah, Mike Drennan, I actually hesitated when I was thinking of the music because I wanted to say Smack My Bleep Bleep Up by Prodigy. That was actually the one I wanted to say, but I just decided to play it safe and just say Prodigy. So there we go. So what can we expect coming up on your channel very soon?
On my channel, I have a video coming out on Saturday, and it's going to be awesome.
Ooh.
It's going to be awesome.
In fact, it's so awesome you can't even tell us what it's about.
I'm not allowed to, because legally I cannot tell you.
Oh, that's so cool. I love projects like that.
I made this video last week. I made it last Friday, edited it and had it ready by Saturday, sent it to the people who I was making it with, and they had to send it to their legal team and the patent officer. And I was told today it will be ready. I will get the go ahead, and the video will be released on Saturday. Fantastic. And anyone out there who flies a Mavic, any Mavic, or even has a smart controller or thinking about getting a smart controller, you have to watch this video. It's a game changer for the industry and the community.
There's that phrase again, game changer. Now, I've actually got a chat message which puts your channel in the chat, which isn't working tonight for some reason. So I'm just going to pop a link quickly. That's Stephen's channel there, Fly By Guys. So go across, support him, and look out for that video that's coming up. It's a good one. Trust me, it's on a fantastic subject. And he has some other great videos, explanation, education, very much being the focus there, but also giving you an insight into Fly By Guys as a business, and how they're evolving. And hopefully you'll see that, as I said, that mix between the hobbyist on Geeksvana, the professional side on Fly By Guys. You'll see that mix coming out in the next few weeks as we get to know each other a little bit better and enjoy these shows even more, which is absolutely fantastic.
Looking forward to it.
And I am as well. Actually, it's going to be an awful lot of good fun. Okay. Well, there we are. There we have it. There is the first Drones and Tech show. We won't keep you all too long. Just very quickly to remind everyone that tonight at 1 a.m. UK time, Thursday Night Live is on, of course, 7 p.m. Central, over on Ken Heron's fantastic channel. And tonight the co-host is Ashley. And Brent Key is on to talk about his experiences in the FPV world, which is going to be a good one. I always enjoy that particular show, and you'll always find me loitering in the live chat. I always try to watch the whole show, actually, which makes my Friday mornings a lot of fun.
I watch it in the morning. I watch it on Friday mornings.
Do you know, I used to do that when I was first a Ken Heron fan and used to watch Thursday Night Live. I would cook a curry on a Friday lunchtime, sit down, me eat never, and watch it on a Friday lunchtime. I watched one live show and I was addicted to that show, because there's something about the live chat and the way that it flows and all of that type of thing is absolutely fantastic. So yes. But okay, guys, well, it's been great. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Stephen, for your first show.
Thank you very much, Sean. It was a pleasure. Thank you to everyone for joining and the support. It's much, much appreciated.
Hopefully you'll come back for show 2.
I think I will.
In a fortnight's time. But, he says that. Let's see, shall we, guys? Let's see if he shows up. I'm shaming him into it now. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Brian Terriers, good to see you. Minnesota Drone, hello. I tell you what, one of the things I always used to hear creators saying before I was a YouTube creator myself is how great it is to see all the usual people in the chat. But you know what? It really is great. When I'm on here and under the pressure of doing the live show and trying something different like we are tonight, it's so fantastic to see the same names that support the channel all through any weather. And I really do appreciate it, guys. And I'll see you next Thursday.
This is the community.
This is the community, isn't it? Which is fantastic. And I will see you next Thursday on the drone show, but there will be some more great videos coming up on mine and Stephen's channel over the next few days. So keep an eye out for those. And we'll see you next Thursday.